Aloha. Jen Boyd here, coming to you from beautiful Honoka'a, Hawaii. So I am recording this. I am pre-recording this because I currently have to work Sunday nights, and so my Monday morning lives are impacted. So I got to pre-record my Monday lives, but I am committed to doing that because I want to show up for you on Monday mornings, 7 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. So in order to do that, going to go ahead and just pre-record this and get it out to you on Monday. So I hope that you are having a happy Monday thus far. As when you're watching this, it's going to be Monday. What I wanted to get into today is the title is Stand and Fight Where You Are. What do I mean by this? I recently watched a video by somebody where they talked about speaking up about what's kind of happening in the world. Like my video on Saturday was talking about standing up against the forced medical procedure that is being forced upon people and standing up against that for the sheer fact that if we don't, our rights are going to be just trampled on if we allow this to happen. It's medical tyranny. And so I want to say this is that this may not affect you. You may be in a position to where maybe you are retired and you live out in the woods and you don't care about going to restaurants and you don't care about going to concerts and you don't travel much, and maybe you're not in the health profession or you're not employed at a business that has over 100 employees. So maybe this demand doesn't directly impact you. And what I want to say is this specific thing may not impact you. Okay. There may be a lot of things that don't personally impact you. Like you feel safe where you are and it's not coming to your door. Okay. And I think that a lot of people may believe that for certain things, like, oh, it doesn't really affect me. I feel, insulated. And that's something that my husband and I have said about living in Hawaii is we feel insulated against some certain things that are happening in the world because, we live in a very rural place and, although these things are happening, lots of things may be happening in the world, there was a time where we felt insulated from it. And it's easy to just kind of step back and go, that doesn't really affect me personally. That doesn't really impact my way of life right now in this moment. But what I'm saying to you here and now is that when liberties are challenged, when your liberty is challenged as a whole, when someone's liberties are challenged as a whole, someone's freedoms are challenged as a whole, like the American people's liberties are challenged, even if it doesn't feel like it's directly impacting you now in this moment, I'm telling you to stand and fight where you are. Because eventually it will come to your door. Eventually it will come to your door. And if you are not willing to stand and fight, you're part of the problem. I know that sounds harsh, but if you are not willing to stand and fight for what is right, and here in America, protecting our freedoms is the right thing to do. And this is, I don't care what side of the aisle you stand on when it comes to this. Our freedoms as Americans must be fought by all of us here as Americans. We must stand together and fight. Even if you feel like your world is insulated from what is happening out there, even if you feel insulated and safe, you need to stand and fight. And I say this because, like I said, there were times that we felt insulated from all of the things that were happening. When we would say things like, oh, I don't know that I'd want to live on the mainland right now. It's getting so crazy. You know, I'm glad that we're here. And I'm always, I will say this, is I'm always grateful for where I am, for various reasons. Number one is I do my best to live in constant gratitude for where I am in the world, whether that be location or occupation or what have you. But I cannot continue to just be like, oh, that doesn't really affect me. What's happening there doesn't really affect me. I've recently, there are things like I talked about on Saturday. It does affect me. This demand for me to participate in these experimental medical procedures. It does affect me, but there are a lot of things, other things that are happening in the world that you do kind of get in your space, like, oh, that doesn't directly affect me, or I'm only one person. And I want to tell you this, is there are millions of people that are saying, I'm only one person. And you are standing on the same side of an issue. Okay. And all of you are saying, but I'm only one person. This is why you have to stand and fight, because once you stand and fight, you start finding that there are so many others willing to do the same, that you are not alone. And I will say this, is that when it comes to fighting for what's right, we should be willing to stand alone because it's the right thing to do. And I think that you, like I said, I think that you'll find that you're not going to be standing alone. But in that moment that you think that you are going to be standing alone, you have to be willing to stand alone sometimes, to do what's right, to stand for what is right. You have to be willing to stand alone. And if you're not willing to stand alone, again, it's hard to say, but you're part of the problem, right? You have to be willing to stand alone for what's right. You have to be willing to lose things to fight for what's right. If you're not going to lose something, is it really a fight? If you're not at risk of losing something, it's not really a fight then, is it? So, I don't want to go on too long about this, but like I said, a lot of this stuff has really been weighing on me recently, and where I fit in as just one person. I'm just one person. And I've realized that there's a lot of us out there, and you may feel alone in what it is that you believe, but it doesn't make it any less important for you to stand firm in your beliefs, right? And that there's a lot more people like you out there than you think there are. And if we just stand, we will find those people. Those people will find us, and we can stand united. Stop kneeling. Stand up. Stand up and don't run from this fight. Stand up. All right? So I hope that this was valuable to you. Again, I want to offer up resources for you if you want to fight what's happening right now. One of the bigger things that's happening right now. I feel like it's a really big deal, and that like if we don't stand on this hill, if we don't choose this hill to stand on and plant our flag here and say, no, I will not comply. I feel like everything else is just going to unravel. The very freedom that people flock to this nation for is at risk. And don't let that happen. Don't sit idly by and let that happen. Please fight. Please fight. All right. Aloha. Please live your best life because you choose to, and stand and fight where you are. Whatever that means, whatever that looks like for you. All right? Take care.